So, hello everyone, this is Niraj. Welcome back to the channel. If you people are new over here, subscribe to this channel because I share amazing stuff about web development and other tech related videos. So, in this video, we are going to create an amazing timer application with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So, let me first take you to my computer screen. Alright, so we are here on my computer screen and let me just show you the project timer.neerajvarsa.com. And as you can see, this amazing project, yep, it's simple but it is UI friendly. And we have here time showing, and inside the current time we have select a timer, and below select a timer we have select options where we can select hours and minutes. So if I select 5 minutes, yep, 5 minutes is the minimum. Okay, so if I set timer, and as you can see our timer has now started, so let me just fast forward it. All right, so we have less than 20 seconds left. Okay, so here you go. All right, so this is the demo of the timer application. How is it? I know you guys are also excited to build this application, so let's start this building this project. All right, so to build this application, I'm here going to create a folder timer YouTube project, and I will just open VS Code. For this project, let me tell you something more. And if you come here inside the blog page, yep, this is the official blog page. Yep, so as you can see, our exploring Next.js 14 nested routes and layouts blog. I will post this link inside the description below, don't worry, and from there you can just click on and visit this blog page. Yep, it is now on localhost, but I will build it when this video is complete. Okay, so building a timer application, and you have to come here just inside the downloaded assets, and you have to download alarm sound and download logo. So let me just download alarm sound and save it in the root folder, that is alarm folder. Okay, so timer, yep, and let me just download logo too. Okay, so it has now downloaded. All right, so let me just create index.html file. Let me just zoom in more so that it will be easy for you guys to see. And we have to make another file as index.js or script.js. Okay, so let me just create another file index.css, and let's start writing the structure. So if I click shift plus exclamation mark, and it will provide me this boiler code of HTML, and I will write timer app. Okay, and if you come here inside this timer app, and you will see we have this heading. Okay, so as you can see we have this heading. So let me first create a container, and I will write dot container. Inside this container I will write int3 and welcome to, what was that, welcome to the timer app. Okay, and the next was this clock. So I will again make a div with id. All right, id timer, or you can say clock, and next we will write. Okay, so inside this we have to just show the time. So let me just come to this blog page, and for CSS part we are going to copy the CSS code from this website, because this video is about to explain the logic, not CSS part. If you want to learn CSS, there are tons of video available in the YouTube. You can just check out any of them. Okay, so let me just copy this CSS part. Okay, so actually it is hard to copy from here. I should make a button at the top right so that it will be easy to copy all the code. But no worry, we are developer. We do so many things. Okay, so okay, I have copied this index.css file and let me check. Okay, I have not opened the development server and I will click go live. Okay, so let me just cut it and paste it out. Okay, so as you can see, welcome to the timer app. But if you see here inside this body, we have this margin 0, padding 0, and this background color as black and font size, but it has not applied here. Why is that? It is because we have not implemented the CSS file inside our index.html, and if I click save and it will reload. Okay, as you can see, it has now reloaded. So let me just come here. Okay, it is now container. All right, so the first one is clock and the second one we are going to write is timer. Okay, so let me just add a class name here as top message. And if you go here, and as you can see, this welcome to the timer app text has been aligned to the center. All right, so our next task is to copy this button, and for this button I will come to my blog page, and because this is SVG, so I have to copy it from this page. And let me just copy all the skeleton code, and after this timer I will just paste it here. Okay, so if I come here inside this timer app, and as you can see hours, minute and set timer. All right, so I just realized that instead of writing here class name as container, our container CSS has not applied it yet. But if you see in the production project, our CSS has been applied here, and as you can see this box shadow. Okay, so let me check what went wrong. So inside this index.css, alright, so I have this id as container, but inside this I have written class as container. No. Okay, so as you can see, this page is now looking at least good. So first of all, if I click here hours, and as you can see, there are no options here, and minutes same as, because we have nothing here, right? We have not written minutes or hours because we are going to add hours dynamically. Dynamically means what? We are going to add hours and minutes with the help of JavaScript. So let me just go inside this index.js and I will just get this hours and minutes element. So inside JavaScript, if you want to get some element, how can we do that? Yep, you are right, query selector or get element by ID. So I'm gonna use here query selector. So I'll say const minutes or minutes. Okay, let it be is equal to document dot query selector, and be aware here because the ID is minutes, not class name, so we have to write here hashtag. All right, hash minutes, and again I will go here const hours is equal to document dot query selector, and the ID was okay. All right, so the ID was hours, and it is actually hashtag because we need to specify is this class or ID. So if I go here and just write console minutes and hours, and we should see the element. Let me just go inspect, and inside console Let me refresh it. Okay. Oh, I just forgot. We have to include our script file, right? Script and src as index.js. Alright. So as you can see, select id minutes and select id hours. So we have got it successfully. So now our time is to show minutes and hours dynamically. Our next task is to display all the options here in hours and minutes. So if you see here, we have these different types of options so that we can choose in hours and minutes. So let us write that code to insert it dynamically, and I will say hours HTML, or not HTML, hours options as, and we need an array of different types of numbers. So if you are seeing here all these values, so these all are just numbers. So let me come to this blog and I'll just copy it. Don't worry, I'll put this link inside the description box after hosting it, so no worry. Let me just paste it here. Okay, and I will say map because I want to loop through all these values. So I will say E, and I want to insert as option and key as dollar $E and value. All right, so dollar is, it's actually dollar, and let me just, we also need inside value, right? So I will say dollar and e dot, I want to convert it to string, and pad start, and as you can see it takes two parameter, the max length and fill string. So pad start does nothing, but suppose we have this 0 1 2 3 4 5, so we don't want to show it like this, right? Because we want to fill, if there is single digit we want to fill it as 0. So I will write 2, max length is 2, and the fill string is 0. And I will just write join as a string. And let's write hours dot add adjacent. Alright, it's actually insert adjacent element, and it takes two parameter where and element. So I will write after beginning, and elements will be hours options, and if I click save and let me just inspect it. Okay, so we have an error, hours dot insert adjacent element after begin and hours options. Okay, all right, so what is the error here? On cop type error, field to execute insert adjacent element on element parameter 2 is not of type element. It is saying that parameter 2 is not a type of element, so we need to figure it out. It's actually string.
One eternity later.
So this is not element, this is actually HTML. Yep, and it should now work. Okay, so we have this bunch of different options here, and same as above, let me just write for minutes options as, and I will just copy this array, and I will write dot map as E, and I want to pass this option same as above, but I want to just multiply it by 5. We multiply by 5, and if I hit save, just write dot join, and I will write minutes options dot insert adjacent HTML, and after, all right, so minutes, oh, not minutes options, it is actually minutes. Okay, so insert adjacent HTML, and inside this after begin, I want to write minute options. So as you can see, we have successfully written these minute options. So now we have the access of minutes, hours. We have also inserted this option inside hours and minutes. So our next task, display time like this. So if we go inside our HTML, and we can see we have written clock here. So this clock is responsible for displaying this time. Let me inspect it first and show you. So as you can see, we have this clock, and this clock is responsible for displaying this time. So first of all, we need to get access of this. I will say to display the current time with second. All right. So I will say const clock equal to document dot query selector, and I will get the clock. Okay, after getting clock, I will first make a function that will just show the time first. So I will write it show current time, and I will first hold the current time inside new date. Okay, I will write date here, and I will write hours equal to date dot get hours, and for minutes date dot get minutes, and for seconds as well. So this is hour, this is minute, and this is second, date dot get seconds. And let first console it what we were getting inside the console, hour and minute and second. And if I go here and call this function to check what we are getting here, we have 14, 14 means 2, and 48 and 11. All right, so we are getting the time successfully, and I will say clock.innerHTML equal to, just write this hour and minutes second. But first of all, let me just wrap it. Okay, and if I save it, okay, so as you can see, time is now successfully being shown. But here is one problem. Inside this production app, we have this time updating every second, but this is not updating every second. So we must make something so that our time will update every second. For that, I will write set interval, and for 1 second, which means 1000 millisecond, I want to just update this, call this function, and as you can see, our function is now updating every second. Okay, so to make it more look clear, I will write CSS name, yep, and I will write time sign. This is now looking great. We have many differences here. 14. Make some logic here. So I will say let updated hours equal to, if we have hour greater than 12, then I will say hour minus 1, else hour, and I will just write here updated hour. Okay, let me check once again. It's actually hour minus 1. Okay, not hour minus 12 actually, not 1. Okay, so yep, it is now working correctly. So I just wrote here if hour is greater than 12, just minus and else display hour. And inside this updated hours, we have if hours is greater than 10, then just show hours, and if it is not, just concatenate with 0. And it says okay, I will do it. And same as for minutes, I will do it. And if it is greater than 10, greater equal to 10, so I will just write data to get minutes, else I will concatenate it with 0 and just write here okay. So now our minute problem is also solved. And for the second, let me do this quickly. All right. And for AM, PM, I will just write if hour, which means this hour is greater than 12, just write PM else AM, and I will write it here. Okay. So, yep, 0 to 57, 28, and PM. All right. So now our next task is to get this button. Whenever I select any of them and this, so when I click on set timer, I should call a function. So let me just get this button first, and this is actually a start custom timer button. And let me just get this button at the top. I will say const start custom time button and document dot UD selector. All right, and hashtag start timer button. And remember, whenever I just select one of them and or two of them and click on the set timer, this function will be triggered that will say that hey, I want to start the timer now and please start it. So I will write a function. What should we write name here? Just write anything, start timer or timer function. And first of all, I need to add event listener here such that whenever I click it, the start custom function button. Alright, so this timer function should be called. And when I click console and write called, so let us check if it is working perfectly as we wanted. So let me go to console and set timer. Okay, as you can see, whenever I click it, it says called. So our first task is to see that there are any selected hours or minutes. How can you do that? So let me just select ted hour equal to and document dot and document dot query selector hashtag hours dot value, and let me just check it if I'm getting this selected hour. Okay, so when I click here some one and set hour, okay, as you can see I'm getting one. And let me just check other, yep, 8. So I'm getting the value successfully. And our next task is to get selected minutes or minute document dot query selector and hashtag minutes. And let me check this if this is also working. When I go inside console and check 20 and no, I want to access value. Okay, so when I click 15 and as you can see I can access value 45. Yep. So let me reload it first, and after reloading it I want to just convert every hour or minute to second so that it will be easy for us to start the timer. Okay, so let me just convert it to seconds. Converted seconds equal to, and to convert hour into second we need to multiply by 60 into 60. And why 60? Because we have 60 minute in hour and again 60 minute in 1 minute. So 60 into 60, which is 3600, and I will say selected hour into 3600 and plus selected minute into 60. We just need to multiply it by 60. And when I console it, the converted seconds, and let me show you if it is working. Let me go to console and let me just add 1 hour and 5 minutes, and it will be around 36. 6 5 ja 30, and let us check. Yep, 3900, because 300 second plus 3600 second. Let me just check 45. Yep, 6300. Let me go to 24. Yep, 89,100 second. So we have now successfully converted our all the hours and minutes to second. So now let make starting the timer. So our next task after converting all the hours and minutes to seconds is to start a timer. So I will say start a timer, and I will call a function that we are going to make converted seconds. And this start timer, I will make a function here, and I will say let remaining time equal to start timer. Okay, this converted seconds, I'm getting this converted seconds, and let me console the remaining time, and let us check if everything is working perfect. Okay, so this is a telling 7200, which means everything is perfect. And now after getting this remaining time, we have to convert it to hour, minute, and second. As you can see, if I select a timer, you can see this hour, minute, and second. If I select hour and 12 hour, 20 minute, and some second, so we need to convert it. So let me just quickly convert it for you. So now, first of all, if there are any value inside this, so I will first clear this value with empty string, and then I will just write let remaining time equal to converted seconds, and I have made a function and update timer so that it will update timer every second, and I have converted it to hour. I'm using math.floor so that we won't get any decimal value, and this remaining and divided by 3600, because to convert hour to second we multiplied by 3600, and to take second to hour we have to divide by 3600, and if it is greater than 9, then I'm just writing this, else I'm using 0. Just above we were using if it is greater equal to 0. Just above we were using if it is greater equal to 10. So if it is 10, then it will just show this, and if it is less than 9, then it will add 1 0 and show this. Suppose if we divide any number, suppose 6 divided by 2, so we have remainder as 0, and we have quotient as 3, which means 2 3 are 6. So we will get here and this second as well. So after getting all this, and yep, I have also, okay, if current timer ID, actually I have not done this ID, so I will initialize this, and we don't have any timer, so I will say const timer equal to document.query selector and timer to get this element from here, timer. And after getting, so let me just start the timer and let us just check if everything is working. And I will say 6 and 30 start timer. Yep, there are no any error. So after doing this, I have just written timer.inner.html, which means to insert here inside this div. Timer.html equal to time remaining, and we have a remaining time, and if there is remaining time, then we will write this, else we will write select a timer, which means let me just refresh it and tell you. Sorry for the background noise because it's actually raining here. Yep, but I will reduce as much as I can. So the first of all, we have to select a timer, which means there is no remaining time. Yep, and if there is remaining time, let me just select 5 and start a timer. You will see this text, and such that if there is remaining time, we are writing this first of all hour and then minutes and then minutes and second. And the minute logic is if it is less than 10, then we are going to concatenate it with 0, else minute. And we are going to write if time remaining is greater than 0, then time remaining should be minus minus should be less 1. It means time remaining equal to time remaining minus 1. But this is shortcut minus minus. And our current timer ID will be set timeout and update timer from here and for every 1 second. And if time remaining is equal to 0, which means the time is over and we are going to play the alarm. So let me just write this function play alarm, and I will say const play equal to new music, or we have audio, I guess. Yep. So let me just write it audio, new audio, cannot audio. All right. So I will say out audio dot play, and I will say audio dot play, and here we need to specify the file name, which is alarm.mp3. And if I save it, okay, so we should see we have this update timer here and start timer. So we need to start this timer, and when we start timer, yep, we should see select a timer. And what is the error? Time remaining is not defined. Okay, where is time remaining? It's actually remaining time, not time remaining. Okay, yep. And if I hit refresh and cannot access play alarm before initialization. Okay, so we will fix that. There is no big deal. And then, yep, if I select here, suppose 5, and as you can see, our timer has started. Okay, so we need to check if our timer is now working with this code. So we have to wait for around 4.5 minutes. So I will just fast forward it.
One eternity later.
Okay, so we have now less than 30 seconds remaining.
A few moments later.
Oh, it's running. Okay, less than 10 seconds remaining, and 7, 6, 5, 4, and no, there is some error. Cannot access play alarm before initialization. Alright, so our problem is now solved. Initially, we had written this function at the last of the line, but I cut that out and I pasted above this start timer function, and now our problem is solved. So let me just show you. If I select 5 minute, and actually I've just first forward it. So it was fast because I have just made it in 10 and fix this out. Okay, so let me push this code to GitHub initialize repository, and I will write make a new timer app for YouTube video. Let me commit it and publish branch timer YouTube project. I want to make it public. If you want to access, yep, unable to access, fail to connect to GitHub. Put, let me cancel it. Actually, the internet connection is too slow. So let me just again publish and the same error. So I will publish it when the internet connection is stable. So all right, this is for now, guys. I hope you find this video helpful and you have now gained a solid understanding on how to make a timer application. You can make a stopwatch, timer application, or alarm clock as well with the help of this knowledge you just gain in this video. And for the blog page, after recording this video, I will publish it. I will just update it to GitHub, and production site is connected to GitHub, so it will automatically update the code to the main website. This is for now. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe the channel and like the video because there are a lot of amazing videos coming on the way. So we will meet in the next video. Till then.